Hey, it's Spectre Summer and Demon Alliance. It's me, Spectre here. Come to video. In this video, I am turning more random MHA characters. Well, I am turning random MHA characters into dragons. Let's get into the video, shall we? Okay, the first dragon we're looking at today is a Wyvern. This dragon is known as, well, its creature name-wise, is Explosive Paw Cannon Wyvern. Or the most common name for it is Explosive Paw. These dragons are pretty much your standard wyvern, but they have a few differences. They are around 30 feet in length and have a 40 foot wingspan. Sorry. This is annoying. They have grenade-like forearms, which helps them with their namesake, Explosive Cannon Paw, with their explosive paws, because they have the ability to make explosions from their hands. They don't breathe fire, but they have the ability to create explosions from their paws or hands. That's what makes them pretty deadly alone, but they're also really aggressive. They don't really attack humans all that often. They mostly protect them against stronger dragons. They also really enjoy a good fight. But on the rare occasion they do attack a human, the humans nearly always charge to a crisp and a few pinches are always missing. You can always tell it was from the explosive paw on the count that the explosion marks are always on the arms, legs, or front of the face. Sometimes on the back, but it's always near the chest. Because center of gravity and all that. The few times I've actually had to hunt these things, I was wearing that battle armor that my friend gave me, and I'm lucky I was able to enchant it with them. Even more resistant to explosives and all that. Because as soon as I got within 5 feet of this dragon, it just started coming at me with explosion after explosion. I was lucky I got out of there. I was even more lucky on the cut that I was wearing that battle armor. They have a yellow jaw, which is weird, but most of it is green. The paws they have are darkish green. They also are able to make little mushroom clouds to show off as intimidation. The way I killed this one is by simply cutting off its head after getting close into it. I then had one of its arms, I then chopped off one of its arms and then had it stuffed. I am working on a statue of all the dragons I've killed. From that task swordtail to the and this one dragon's arm. I'm hopefully gonna make that statue sometime sooner. I still need a body, head, legs, tail, a few other parts. Well, let's get to the next dragon, shall we? Well, this next one is a drake. It's known as the sticky ball drake, or her most common name is sticky drake. They have very large forearms, and they get their namesake from their tail and their paws. The tail is on the count that when the tail is flung around enough, it can release little balls that, depending on how it is feeling at the moment, the angrier or happier or whatever it is, whatever primary emotion it has, is the stickier the balls are. But the less angry or happy or whatever it is, the less sticky they are. The way you can tell if it's a happy if it's happy at the moment, is by it's just walking around not doing anything. It's also known to be very lazy. But it's also, let's just say, the dragon itself is kind of a pervert to other dragons. It's always been knocked out of trees and all that. Surprised the thing hasn't died yet. Now, their paws are made of the same substance and are as sticky as the balls on their end of their tail. Now if it goes over the amount of balls it has, it actually starts to bleed, which is quite nasty. They aren't really related to any other drake. They're their own species. But they do have a slight similarity to a war/siege drake, to one of those bigger drakes. They are all around a very nasty creature, but they are actually really intelligent, and not to mention very good at fighting. This one time I saw this drake fight, was because I was having to hunt it because it was eating some farmer's animals. It was this drake at the moment was hunting a younger drake because the thing was very hungry. It ate all the guy's animals. So it was hunting the dragon, and when it finally came across it, it was smart enough to ambush it because this drake was facing off against a freaking turbo armored wyvern. What's the next dragon we're going to look at? It first flung its tail around, having balls stick to it, and then hitting it against a tree with the backside of its hand so it won't stick. It then sunk its teeth into the neck of the dragon, ripping out its throat. That was gory. So once that happened, I chopped off the guy's head, chopped off its arms and tail. I now have a gauntlet made of that dragon's arm, and I took the tail and attached it to the statue after having it stuffed. So, let's get to the next dragon, shall we? Sorry for this mid-video interruption. I'm just hoping it will all be nice enough to hit that like and subscribe button. It's only going to take you like maybe 5 seconds to it. I'll be extremely grateful, and so you can join us by Coast Guard Demos Alliance today. So, let's get into the last portion of the video, shall we? Like I mentioned, the only reason why the sticky drake was only able to take out the turbo armored wyvern on the count that it was in the middle of molting, which is a quite interesting one. Now, the turbo armored wyvern, the most common name is turbo wyvern. They have a very armored body, but while in the middle of shedding, it's a very weak and very frail dragon. So that's when it's mostly attacked. And when this does happen, it is always on a high guard, but it's mostly always killed. They get their name from the fact that they have they're fast enough to whenever they run fast enough, they don't really have any fire attacks, so they mostly have their legs are relatively armored and reinforced, and that's their most primary attack, is kicking. They use their powerful legs in order to kick their prey out of the sky or knock it unconscious. They have to make up for the fact they don't have any fire breathing, they have like little pipes at the end of their legs, which are about 3 on each leg. And sometimes that's what gives it the extra power to kick. And the claws are actually made of the same biological metal as the pipes, making it very easy to slash through. Their teeth and their face, and tail are made of the same biological metal, but the parts that are like the underbelly, their wings, and a good chunk of the tail are not coated in the metal. So, yeah. After that dragon was killed, and for the record, once the dragons get done shedding, it automatically rehardens whether they're dead or not. But once that happens, they're not gonna regrow. So I then, after that sticky drink killed the turbo wyvern, I then skinned the wyvern's legs and head. And also, part of their wings are coated in the metal, but it's only like maybe a third of the way up. I then had that made into a little armor for high. Whenever I have to face off against a dragon with a high attack with fire abilities. Now, that's all I got on this dragon. Also, they have a 40-foot wingspan and their body is actually relatively short, around 20 feet long. They are good fast runners in the air and on ground. So, yeah, I'm so lucky that thing was dead, because if I had to hunt it, I would never been able to get it out of the sky. Let's go to the last dragon of the day, shall we? Now, the last dragon we're looking at today is a very, very, very weird one. It's also sometimes mistaken for a god. And the reason why is because of its ability to actually breathe lightning. Yeah, you heard me right. Lightning. They're strong. But these dragons, after using so much ability, might as well say their name first. The creature name is the Electrical Sparking Wyvern, or Electrical Sparking. The Electrical Sparking main ability, as I stated, is to breathe lightning. But once it goes over the amount it's able to use per day, which is, it can go all at once, or it can recharge. It can go on attacks, maybe using 100 volts at a time, or up to 1,000 and recharge later. But that the lightning is very strong, and after it uses so much energy, it goes it goes dumb. That's when it's perfect time to actually strike. But they don't just breathe the lightning. Their tail is also, the lightning they breathe is not very precise. So when they want a precise attack, they always use their tail to target, and it then spits out a little energy ball, which conducts the electrical lightning very easily. So once they shoot those electrical discs or orbs out, you're pretty much dead. I was able to get out of the way of the few attacks when I had to hunt one of these things. And I managed to get a close look at the eye, which is actually a little lightning bolt, which is quite weird, but not as weird as I've seen. Their wingspan is around 20 feet. Full length body is around 15 feet. All around a very strong dragon, but like I said, it went over its million wattage limit because the thing was only around 500 years old. Need to be around 1,000 to get a few 100,000, few million volts of electricity in. I was then able to cut off its head, then I took its tail. I managed to have the little sack of magic it has in there actually made into something rechargeable. So now one of my primary weapons is that, and I also have a secondary weapon on that same arm, on that same weapon, has two settings: the electrical pulse and the disc. I first shoot the disc, then I shoot the electricity. It fries the people with dragons like they're nothing. I do track humans, but I turn them into the police and all that. That's all the dragons and wyverns we're looking at today. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed me turning random MHA characters into dragons. Subscribe to Join Spike Streaming or Demon's Alliance. Goodbye and peace out.